It starts with a bite or a bark. Keanu Reeves, sitting on the Graham Norton sofa, makes it clear he's not a fighter, he's a lover. But then someone pushes back. Because if you're a lover, you have to be a fighter too. If you don't fight for your love, what kind of love do you have? He laughs it off. He was just kidding. But the audience wasn't ready for any of it. He once mentioned being on a soap opera called All My Children, where he got a life-sized cardboard cutout of himself delivered straight to his dressing room. What he did with it next left everyone in the room completely speechless. There are celebrities, and then there's Keanu Reeves. The man has been famous for over 30 years and has never once looked rattled by any of it. Someone once asked him what his perfect day looks like. The interviewer was expecting something charming, something safe, something Keanu-shaped. What they got instead was a completely straight-faced, zero hesitation, utterly conviction-filled answer that nobody saw coming. Breakfast, a motorcycle ride, a swim, some reading, a movie, a few drinks with friends, another ride home. Delivered, without a single blink. That is the most Keanu answer to any question ever asked. But the cool doesn't stop at interviews. Most actors doing action movies train for a few months, hit their marks, and move on. Keanu treated John Wick like a second career. Director Chad Stahelski has talked openly about what it's actually like on set with him, and what came out of that process was something nobody expected. The magazine reload flip, that signature move from the films, wasn't designed by a choreographer or a weapons trainer. Keanu came up with it himself between takes. Stahelski saw it and couldn't believe it. Not only did it look incredible on camera, it turned out to be a legitimately faster technique used in real shooting competitions. Nobody told him to do it. He just figured it out. That's him, not a stuntman, not a weapons expert. Keanu. The commitment behind that went further than most people know. Before cameras ever rolled on John Wick, he spent months training in judo, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, tactical firearms, and three-gun shooting. He went on to perform around 90 to 95% of his own stunts across the entire franchise. Director Stahelski confirmed that Keanu executes choreography and gun work better than 95 to 98% of any stunt professional he has ever worked with. The gunfa style that defined those films, close-quarter shooting blended with hand-to-hand combat, was built in direct collaboration with Keanu himself. He wasn't executing someone else's vision. He was building it. But it's not just action that Keanu takes seriously. There is one question that makes even the most composed people stumble. Stephen Colbert asked it on live television, and Keanu's answer has lived rent-free in the internet's head ever since. What do you think happens when we die, Keanu Reeves? He didn't pause. He didn't philosophize. He just said, the ones who love us will miss us. The room went silent. Then it erupted. The most honest answer to that question ever given on television, delivered like it was nothing. And that quote followed him everywhere. Comedian Celeste Barber was on the Drew Barrymore show when Keanu's most famous line about love came up in conversation. She was moved by it. And then, right there in the middle of the segment, she found out she was sitting in the exact chair Keanu had been sitting in when he said it. Keanu wasn't even in the building. The chair alone was enough to make the whole thing hit completely differently. Back on the Graham Norton sofa, an audience member stood up and announced, directly to his face, that she had never kissed Keanu Reeves. And never would. He absorbed it with such complete grace and warmth that the entire audience burst into applause. Not for her. For him. But the cool energy doesn't stay in studios and press junkets. In 2022, Keanu turned up completely unannounced at a perfectly ordinary wedding reception in the UK. Not a celebrity event. Just a normal couple having their day. The groom spotted him outside the hotel, said hello, and asked if he'd like to come take a photo with everyone. Keanu said sure, went in, shook hands, said hi to everyone, took the pictures, and left. When Jimmy Fallon pressed him on it, Keanu described the whole thing in the most understated way imaginable, as if it were the most normal thing in the world. One of these things does not belong, he said. And it was me. He wasn't crashing. He was invited. He just didn't think it was worth mentioning. Same energy with fans. Where most celebrities deliver the 1,000-yard stare and a forced smile while thinking about their next meeting, Keanu turns every fan photo into an event. Every single time. And that generosity isn't just for cameras. For the Matrix sequels, he reportedly redirected a significant portion of his own profit-sharing points to the special effects and costume design teams, the people he believed were the true heroes of those films. He felt they deserved to participate in what they helped build. The exact number is disputed, but multiple outlets estimated it ran into the tens of millions of dollars. He also personally gifted every member of the stunt team a custom Harley-Davidson motorcycle. No press conference. No announcement. No credit claimed. And when no cameras were watching at all, back in 1997, a photographer stumbled across something in West Hollywood that stopped them cold. Keanu Reeves sitting on the sidewalk next to a homeless man. Not posing. Not performing. Just sitting there, sharing food and drinks, listening to the man's story. No fanfare. No reason except that he wanted to. On that same Graham Norton sofa, he once tried to explain the martial arts choreography behind John Wick and ended up demonstrating exactly how the stunt team convinced him to just commit to the hit and get it done. The audience didn't politely applaud. They were in shock. And then came the horse scene. John Wick required him to not just ride a horse but to fall beneath it mid-gallop, hold on, and come back up shooting. He explained it casually mid-sentence, like it was a minor logistical detail. The actor sitting next to him on the sofa did not recover. Even early in his career, when David Letterman mispronounced his name on live television, Keanu didn't make it awkward. Letterman apologized and asked what the name actually meant. Keanu told him, "Cool breeze over the mountains," a Hawaiian name passed down from his great-great-uncle. Letterman said it was a lovely name. Keanu just smiled. It suits him. That is the Keanu Reeves no one manufactured. Most celebrities spend decades carefully constructing an image. Keanu spent decades just being himself. And somehow, that turned out to be the most magnetic thing in Hollywood. Cool breeze over the mountains. It really does suit him.